A fixture on the schedule. They're from up there in Detroit. Will knew the coach and played him every year.
I always thought there was Oakland in California. I didn't know there was one.
Well, we also beat him every year. Maybe that's the reason.
That's the reason you play people early, is to figure out your team and find people that you can still win and play and not have really the threat of losing, but that you have a chance to look at some.
Well, you know, you got to sympathize a little bit with Coach Bob Bender. In an opening game, he wants to get somebody he at least has an equal shot at. He's had 3 openers. This is his 4th. He's lost all 3. Back in 89-90, he lost on this floor to Wisconsin Green Bay, but that was Mr. Bennett and company. Of course, Bennett's now playing in the NBA, and his dad, one of the fine coaches in the game, regardless of the size of Wisconsin Green Bay. Then in 90 and 91, they went over to Dayton and were hammered 109-69. Last year, well, we're just about set for the introductions of the starting lineups in the season's opener for Illinois State's men's basketball team. So let's switch opposite side of the floor to the voice of Redbird Arena, Steve Adams.
Tonight's non-conference season opener features our guests from Romeoville, Illinois, the Flyers of Lewis University, and our Redbirds of Illinois State University. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing tonight's starting lineups. At forward for Lewis, 6'6" from Chicago Notre Dame, a junior, number 30, Rich Agner. At forward for Illinois State, 6'8" from Newton, Massachusetts, a junior, 21, Scott Taylor. At the other forward for Lewis, a 6'5" senior from Centralia, Illinois, number 50, John Adams. At the other forward for the Redbirds, 6'8" from Bloomington, Minnesota, a junior, 41, Mike Vendegaard. At center for the Flyers, 6'8" from Chicago Heights, Bloom, a sophomore, 14, Kayland Haynes. In the middle for the Redbirds, 6'9" from Vandalia, Illinois, a sophomore, 43, Brian Kern. One of the guards for Lewis, 5'11" from Chicago Fenwick, a junior, 32, Maurice Kilo. At guard for Illinois State, 6'2" from Quincy, Illinois, a junior, number 34, Todd Wemhainer. At the other guard for the Flyers, a 6'1" senior, Gary, Indiana, 24, Damon Joshua. At the other guard for the Redbirds, 6'5" from Chicago Young, a junior, 54, Chuck Barnes. The Lewis coach in his first season as the head coach of the Flyers, Jim Whitesell. And the Redbird coach in his 4th season, Bob Bender.
Well, we're just about set to go with this one as you see Bob Bender focused on our screen right now in his 4th year. Missouri Valley Conference Coach of the Year last year, Bender at ISU. Overall record of 41 and 47. So despite that disastrous 5 and 23 mark, his 2nd year at the helm, Cal, he's zeroing in on the break-even mark and hopes to surpass it by many, many games this year. As this team last year certainly made one of the great comebacks in collegiate basketball.
I just think it's a credit to Coach Bender and his staff that they can come back with such a strong season, and now I think the prospects are in place for even a better season this year.
Mild surprise, Lewis University is going to start John Adams, the 6'5", 220-pound senior from Centralia, averaging 19 points in their first 3 games. He was said to be out with an ankle injury. In fact, I don't think he played in their last game, but he's going to play here tonight. Played for Bob Bogle down at Centralia High School, and operating on something less than a 100% wheel, but he's going to give it a shot. So there you see over the years, ISU with a solid 14-4 series edge. They haven't met since 1976-77. In season's openers, since Illinois State has been a Division I basketball power, they're 13-9. Maybe I shouldn't say power, basketball entry. They've had some great years, but power might be overstating the case just a bit, in fairness. All right, here's Todd Wemhainer bringing the ball over the timeline. The Redbirds have it. Low to Scott Taylor. Taylor in the paint. Dishes the ball right side to Chuck Barnes for the layup. Chuck Barnes roars in off the Taylor assist. 2-0 Illinois State. Lewis brings the ball up the floor. It's Maurice Kilo. Kilo to number 24, who is Damon Joshua. They work low inside to the hoop. Smith up and in, or Adams, I should say. John Adams. Well, they set Adams on that low block, got the ball to him very nicely. We're tied at 2 here, just underway. Chuck Barnes circles out of traffic. Barnes and Wimhainer starting the backcourt. The Redbirds throw it away. Richard Thomas not starting here tonight due to some knee problems. A bruised knee. Nothing really of a serious nature, but with Butler coming in next Monday, then DePaul, a rather demanding schedule in the immediate future. They're taking no chances with Thomas, although he is expected to play some tonight. Steal by Barnes. Barnes has one man to beat. Beautiful play off to Taylor.
Excellent job on the break of giving the ball up, making the defense commit, giving the ball up, turned into a dunk.
Barnes become a pretty good ball handler, hasn't he?
Well, he's getting so much stronger. Another good steal.
Barnes with the steal, in for the layup. He's got it. And the Redbirds jump into a 6-2 lead at Redbird Arena. Up for Lewis University is Maurice Kilo. Kilo being hounded out front by Todd Wimhainer. This is one of the big differences you see with the Division I against the Division II ball clubs insofar as defensive pressure is concerned. We're going to see the dunk again. This will be the one by Scotty Taylor, I assume. Yeah,
defense commits. Taylor gets the dunk. You saw a call that was made now. The officials are making a real point of emphasis on hand checking in both college and high school basketball this year. So you may see a lot more calls made out on the floor.
They change all you coaches' defensive techniques. Huh?
Well, they feel like the defensive players getting too much of an advantage, and you know there may be a truth to that. I mean, the game is getting a lot more physical.
Out front with it is Kalen Haynes. Haynes gets the pass inside. Jumper is up and in. A leader fired up by Maurice Kilo. Rings the bell. We have a foul called as well. The basket's going to count.
Kilo did a good job of pressing the advantage and then getting the basket after the foul.
Foul is on Scott Taylor. Lewis has got some quickness, don't they?
They really do, but there's a difference in the strength of the players, as you can see through the shoulders and the arms, and I think that's going to be a telling sign as the game goes on.
So Kilo completes a three-point play to get his ball club back within 1 at 6-5 as Todd Wimhainer brings it across. Well on the floor to Chuck Barnes, to Wimhainer. Todd signals the play, goes to Barnes. Left side. Now to Brian Kern deep in the corner. Here's Barnes back to Vandegaard. Vandegaard turn around the baseline. Does not go. Rebound speared by John Adams. Lewis zoning a little bit out there, Cal? Take a look.
Looks like a man-to-man to me.
Here we go again. I just asked a question. Into the right corner with it.
I think they're sagging so much on the weak side it sets up the skip pass.
Taylor to Wimhainer. Wimhainer to Barnes. Barnes looks down low to Vandegaard, and they're going to call the holdout on Lewis University's Kalen Haynes. Haynes is 6'8", 170, a sophomore from Chicago Heights Bloom, trying to cover Mike Vandegaard. Vandegaard checks in at 6'8", 200-pound junior from Bloomington, Minnesota. There's a look at Haynes. Redbirds will inbound under their own attacking basket, leading at 6'5". Scott Taylor, the junior from Newton, Mass. In the corner, back to Barnes. Barnes to Wimhainer. Here's Vandegaard in the paint. Back out to Todd Wimhainer. Yep, you're right. It is a man-to-man. No question about that, at least at this point.
I got something right, Art?
Yeah, you were right. But it's early. Taylor, right side of the lane. To Wimhainer. Wimhainer moves down the lane, bounce pass to Vandegaard in heavy traffic. The shot is up, deflected away, and Kalen Hayes picked up another foul.
Lewis is really quick to leave their feet. If Illinois State has patience, they're going to be able to go inside. They got better height, better strength inside, and Lewis is trying to block shots.
Redbirds in the 2 exhibition games averaged 83 points a game. Defensive mark of a good solid 69 points a game. Lineup change for Lewis as Dan Lundquist comes in, 6'5", 210-pound junior out of Rochelle High School and Kishwaukee Community College in Northern Illinois. He's checked in for Haynes, who suddenly has picked up 2 personal fouls. Mike Vandegaard at the stripe.
I've been to Rochelle High School. That's not a gym I really ever want to go back to.
Yeah, in your days as coach of the Rock Falls Rockets, you ventured into Rochelle.
I'd like to say the good old days.
Second throw.
I won't.
Up and off of the rebound, hauled down by John Adams. Adams clears the ball off. Now in the defensive zone is Damon Joshua. Joshua averaging 12.7 in the first 3 games of the season. Traveling violation, a whistle this time. I believe it was John Adams who got the pass from Joshua, walked with the basketball. Illinois State leads it by 2 at 7-5. Bob Bender having an early season discussion with official Ron Zechter.
It won't be his last discussion.
They'll have several. Here's Scott Taylor. Taylor to Chuck Barnes out front. Wimhainer, Taylor. Brian Kern working baseline left now is actually the low post guy. On the right side is Vandegaard. Mike has it. Comes out of traffic to Wimhainer. Pass knocked away. Here's the steal. Maurice Kilo on the drive to the basket for Lewis, and he's got it.
That was his zone that time, Mark, on the out of bounds.
Yeah, they better zone on the out of bounds play, isn't it?
I don't know. Some people believe the other way.
Yeah, a lot of people now. Well, in more recent campaigns, we've seen more man-to-man on the out of bounds play.
I believe he's on everything.
Yeah. Here's Thomas Hunter checking in for Illinois State. First look at Hunter tonight. Mike Vandegaard leaves. Hunter, 6'6", 235, a junior from Nashville, Tennessee, junior college product. Lewis is perfect in the field thus far, 3 of 3. 16:22 to go in the first half of play. We're tied at 7. Redbird lineup now: Taylor, Thomas Hunter, Brian Kern, Chuck Barnes, and Todd Wimhainer. Scott Taylor takes his man inside. Agner. The shot came up short, deflected out of bounds underneath by John Adams.
A lot of contact on the shot that time.
Big John, number 50, averaged 16.6 and 7.4 rebounds a game last year for Lewis. Member of the Great Lakes Valley Conference, Division II league. Chuck Barnes goes down the lane, doesn't shoot a Wimhainer. Gives the ball to Kern for the right hand hook. Up off, no good. Rebound batted out front to Wimhainer. To Scott Taylor. Barnes outside the arc, on the way, no good. Teeters off. Thomas Hunter with the board, fouled from behind by John Adams. Last year, Lewis was 9-19 overall and 4-14 in Great Lakes Conference play. Now, keep in mind, Jim Weitzel was not coaching there last year. This is his first year at the helm. Thomas Hunter will go to the line, shooting a pair. And you see Hunter so far in the preseason, 75% free throw shooter. Got the first one. Very nice young man to talk to, Cal, Mr. Hunter.
Well, when he comes in the ball game, he looks like he's all business.
Yeah.
And he comes in the first shot, he gets a board, and I think that's a real good sign.
Second free throw is up and in by Hunter. Played his junior college ball at Howley County Community College.
After the free throw made, ISU went to full court pressure, denying the inbounds pass and trapping on the first pass, trying to pick up the tempo a little bit.
9-7, Birds lead early on. Right-hand dribble, number 24, Damon Joshua. Joshua cross court to Maurice Kilo. Kilo wears 32, Joshua 24. Nice play by Brian Kern. Slipped in front of John Adams on the low post. The Birds come roaring back the other way. Barnes pulls it up in the paint, won't go. Rebound, hauled down by Adams. Bob Bender has made it abundantly clear he wants his team to run and run hard. On the move, pull up, jump shot, caroms off. No good by Kilo. Birds have it once again. Wimhainer dishes to Barnes. Barnes back to Wimhainer. Short poke off the glass, spins in and out, and back in again.
Real control break that time. Did a nice job of pulling up and hitting the short jumper.
11-7 contest. The lead is 4 for Illinois State. Steve Fitch and Richard Thomas preparing to enter for ISU. Kilo on the right wing. And we have a reach-in on Thomas Hunter. Thomas trying for the steal. All for the reach-in violation. We're going to see the Wimhainer bucket here.
Very unselfish basketball. Give it up, get it back, get to use the score.
Lineup changes for ISU as Fitch and Thomas both come in. We have an official timeout here at Redbird Arena. 11-7, Redbirds on the lead. As you see, 15:03 to go in the half. We'll be back. Yeah, it really does. 4 steals for Illinois State. Lundquist with that shot in the paint. Rolls home for Lewis University. A kid from Rochelle hits a shot on the inside to make it 11-9. Here's Thomas Hunter on the low post. A collision, and Hunter's going to be called for the offensive foul.
There was a Lindquist.
Thomas not in agreement.
There was a Lindquist that played for Rochelle 7, 8 years ago. Left-handed kid, one of the best high school players I'd ever seen. He went to play at Dubuque University, and I'm wondering if this is the brother.
This may be the brother.
So strong inside. I mean, he's got great inside moves. You know, again, he's only 6'5", but his brother was 6'3" and was an outstanding player.
Well, this kid's a junior, so he went to play high school ball, 4 years ago? Here's a reach in on Richard Thomas out front. Thomas caught with his hand in the cookie jar, and Richard is not in agreement. Bob Bender on the sidelines. A little unhappy, I think justifiably so, because you teach your kids to be aggressive on defense and play, gamble just a bit.
The thing about playing basketball is you've got to learn what the officials will allow and will not allow. And that's what this part of the game's all about.
Agner took the shot for Lewis, down to Wimhaner. Wimhaner goes low to Brian Kern. Short poke by Brian, no good. Rebound effort by Fitch over the hoop. Ball is loose. On the floor with it is Maurice Kilo. Kilo flies down for Lewis, circles out against Wimhaner. Gets the ball to Agner. Agner at about 17 feet, nothing there. Comes right back out front now to Damon Joshua. Joshua, the playmaker, along with Kilo, the two backcourt players. Agner low to John Adams. Adams had the ball for Lewis, lost it. Loose underneath, still loose, and Wimhaner digs it out for the Redbirds. 2-on-2. Pull up, Wimhaner. In and out, rebound, Thomas Hunter. Had it, lost it, taken away from him by John Adams. A couple of pretty strong kids battling there. Adams won that particular battle, but don't bet on it continuing. Damon Joshua. Joshua penetrates into 12, shot up and in.
Anytime you allow penetration into the lane, you've got trouble, either from the shot or from some type of dish off. And that time he got the shot off from inside the lane.
11-11 ball game at Redbird Arena. Steve Fitch eyes the bucket. Circles off right side to Wimhaner. Now they come cross court to Fitch for the long three-point bomb. It does not drop. Rebound comes off, controlled by Damon Joshua. Brings it up for Lewis.
ISU's getting one shot and off. You've got to have second shots when the ball's not going in the basket.
Agner drives the baseline, cut off, and we got a blocking foul.
Another point of emphasis on both the NCAA and high school levels this year is the play away from the ball and screening. We had 3 called on us last night, so I know they weren't bad screens.
Couldn't have been. Dan Lundquist picked up the illegal pick. It was not a blocking call. It was an illegal screen. Vandegaard comes back in as Brian Kern leaves.
Shooting's been very poor up to this stage, and I'm sure Chad Alpadon has brought in to change that.
ISU is 1 for 9 from the field. Alpadon, we didn't mention him also back in for the first time. The sophomore out of Centralia. Off to Richard Thomas. Thomas gets the ball to Vandegaard. Vandegaard to Steve Fitch. Altadonna. Back to Fitch. Fitch beyond the three-point arc as he looks at that Lewis defense. Well, that looks like a zone to me, Cal, right now.
Zone.
2-3. Penetration, Thomas. The ball is deflected away by Lundquist. Nice play on the inside. Yeah, they've gone to a little 2-3 zone last couple of trips down. Up the floor is Kilo.
This poorly, it's a good thing to do.
Long bomb, the three-pointer, nothing but the bottom of the net by Damon Joshua. And the Flyers right now are flying. They lead 14-11. Altadonna.
They're hitting their shots, and ISU's not, and ISU isn't getting second shots.
7 unanswered points scored by Lewis. Fitch low to Thomas Hunter. Thomas twisted the glass, up and in. Got it home.
Good job of dumping the ball down inside. Got a good offensive possession. Good shot inside, resulting in a basket.
Lewis leads at 14-13, deflected away by Hunter. Richard Thomas on the move. Gets the ball to Thomas Hunter. Pulls up with a short poke. Thomas Hunter already with 6 points. In the preseason, Hunter, Cal, averaged 14 points a game and averaged 28 minutes a game in the first 2 exhibitions.
Hunter's a very good player. You can tell that he's learning the system and that sort of thing, but he does a lot of things.
Agner with about an 8-foot poke on the baseline buries it for Lewis. But you got to give the Flyers credit. When they have the open shot, they're converting. 16-15. Jim Weitzel's ball club leads it by a point. Out front, Damon Joshua called for the reach-in. And, of course, this is a big ball game to Lewis. Anytime a Division II club plays a Division I team, there's a little emotion involved. Checking in for the Flyers is Rick Pisha.
Should pay dividends for them.
I think that summer trip to Europe probably helped, too. Particularly with the
you eat better in Europe, do you?
Well, they eat me better, but it's got a great deal to do with pulling a squad together, I think. Richard Thomas, top of the circle, penetrates, dishes off to Vandegaard. Vandegaard off balance, wanted to go up for the shot, traveled with it. Pretty nice penetration move there by Thomas, Gal.
Mike Vandegaard hasn't really gotten into the game yet, like we know he's capable of doing. So hopefully he can
start getting some offensive rebounds, get some putback baskets, and get into the flow of the game.
Yeah, right now, Lewis looks pretty good.
Yeah, they are. They're hitting, everything's perimeter. They're hitting their shots.
When the ball goes in, you always look better, don't you?
I've always felt so.
That's our statement to live by for the night, right? Kilo to the baseline.
When you're 1 of 9 or whatever and you're still in the game, I think you're doing pretty well.
Yeah, that's true. Lead pass to Vandegaard. Finger roll will not go. And the ball comes off to Damon Joshua once again for the Flyers. They're down quickly. Right side of the floor, then back out to Damon Joshua. Kalen Hayes is checked back in, number 14. Joshua all the way to the glass against Hunter. Shot is no good. Tip on the inside by Kalen Hayes doesn't go. Ball rolls out of bounds. Making a game try for it was Damon Joshua. The basketball will go back to Illinois State.
Coach Wooden, you always had a statement.
That's Damon going back down the floor, Cal.
Of be quick but don't hurry. And right now it seems like ISU is really hurrying everything they're trying to do. They're trying to execute too quickly. They need to slow down, get in a few good offensive possessions, but trying to take the quick shot. And it's one thing to run, but it's another thing to always be in a hurry.
Hunter's shot rolls off. The rebound to Rick Pisha. Here's Pisha holding high. Works the ball down to Kalen Hayes. Haynes clears. Out front now to Maurice Kilo. Left side to Agner. Agner back to Kilo. Ball loose on the floor and rolls out of bounds. Going to go back to Lewis. ISU is 3 of their last 14 from the field. Ryan Curran checks in now for Thomas Hunter. So Illinois State not shooting well, but as Cal pointed out, down only 1 at 16-15, which I assume is a good sign. Coach said so.
Yeah, well, not everybody believes what I say, bro. I do think it's extremely important that we are staying in the basketball game right now, in spite of poor play.
Yeah, and not shooting well at all. There's Bob Bender on the ISU bench.
They'll loosen up from the outside eventually, and we'll start getting some easy baskets, but that just hasn't happened so far.
Ray Giacoletti has the tie on to end all ties. ISU assisted over there on the bench.
But the shirt-tie combination is what sets it
off. It's a navy blue shirt with a blue-green tie.
I'm not sure what the colors are.
That's what we talk about when the team isn't shooting well, friends, so bear with us.
I'm afraid it's too far away for me to see it very well.
We'll get back to basketball. No one has scored in this ball game since the 11:42 mark, and Lewis isn't going to score that time because time ran out on the 45-second clock. Teed it off, and there's Jim Weitzel on the sideline. Jim's not too happy with that. Of course, the play was interrupted by ball rolling out of bounds and so forth and so on. I think teams forget don't concentrate on the time as well when that happens.
Real good pass and catch inside.
Ryan Kern gives ISU the lead at 17-16 on the layup. Damon Joshua. Got John Adams posting low. Left side, Kilo bombs away for 3. Maurice Kilo buries it.
The pass was made because Chet Altadonna lost sight of the ball. The ball was made right over his head. The pass was made right over his head.
And Mr. Kilo put it away.
You got to see the ball and the man. You can't just lock in on one or the other.
Kilo's a product of Oak Park's Fenwick High School. Rebound was tracked down by Rich Agner. Spells it A-I-G-N-E-R from Notre Dame of Niles. Across on the right-handed dribble. Now with the left hand is Damon Joshua, picked up by Richard Thomas. Tough. ISU's been straight man-to-man, of course, throughout. Agner looking eyeball to eyeball with Steve Fitch. He goes to Kalen Haynes on the baseline, and a charge is going to be called. Let's see who they gave that to. I'm not sure it went to Haynes. It may have gone to Adams. If it's on Haynes, it's his third. Yep, it is. It is Kalen Haynes has picked up his 3rd personal foul. Chuck Barnes comes on for Illinois State. So it's a backcourt now of Richard Thomas and Altadonna. Barnes playing a wing position, along with Vandegaard, the postman Brian Kern. 3-point shot. Altadonna hangs on the outer rim. ISU can't throw it in the ocean right now.
Just rushing her shots.
Agner gets an uncontested rebound off the floor. We're going to bring in Todd Cagle here in just a moment, see if Todd can light things up a little bit. Lewis leading 19-17, 7:51 for the quarter. Agner leans in, dishes right back out front to Damon Joshua. The 3-pointer is good again. Damon Joshua, his 2nd 3, the 3rd 3 for Lewis in the ball game. It's 22-17. Flyers with a 5-point cushion. They're shooting the lights out at Redbird Arena. Out to Donna to Thomas. Thomas at three-point range. Back iron, won't go.
Just taking real bad shots. Whatever available is what we're shooting instead of getting the shots that we want off the offense.
Baseline Kilo. Kilo cross court feed. Agner in the corner. Tries the three-pointer. Doesn't get it. The rebound, Richard Thomas, who's an amazing rebounder, no bigger than he is, comes out with the basketball. Richard going coast to coast, lays it off the glass, doesn't get it. Tipped in by Vandegaard. They get it to Barnes. They get it to Barnes.
They were both there.
Yep, 22-19. Well, that's the best blanket coverage of the hoop they've had all night.
First time a second shot's come around in a while.
I'll tell you, when you got two guys and it's hard to sort out who has it, that's a good sign as long as it goes down. Feed to John Adams. Pretty reverse layup around Vandegaard. And the Great Lakes Valley Conference Division II ball club playing a whale of a ball game right now. They lead 24-19. Chuck Barnes for the Redbirds to Richard Thomas. Thomas down the lane, gets the ball back to Barnes. Barnes on the penetration move, off balance, bangs it off the glass, can't get it. Tip by Barnes, and a foul has been whistled. It's going to go against Illinois State. Maybe Barnes climbing in the act of rebounding. It is. First foul on Barnes. Lewis on an 8-2 run. We got another timeout here at Redbird Arena with 6:32 to go in the first half. Lewis has increased their margin. They're up 24-19. We'll be back in just a moment.
Long tipping it in. Second shots. ISU hadn't been getting many second shots at all. When you aren't shooting the ball well, you've got to get more opportunities at the basket. One way to do that, obviously, is off the glass.
Rebounding edge to Lewis, 11-6. Adams has 5, and Thomas Hunter for ISU with 4. Shooting right now, Illinois State at Chile 8 of 25, and Lewis is 10 of 15. The only column the Birds have the edge in, turnovers. Lewis has turned it over 8 times, Illinois State 4 times. ISU is 5 of its last 21 shots. You're not supposed to shoot like that at home, Cal.
Well, they're pushing the ball up the floor pretty hard, but they're making bad decisions, and even though they're shooting the ball, they're not the best shots they can get. One of those things is just being, first game jitters type thing.
Lundquist is back out there for Lewis. Here's Damon Joshua, pretty clever backcourt player. Penetrates, drives to the hoop. Whistle and the charging foul on Joshua. Good defensive job by big Brian Kern there, Cal. Got himself planted just in time because Joshua was very, very quick.
Well, he can fill up a lane.
Yeah.
He did a nice job of establishing position.
Kern, you mean?
Yes, Kern.
Yes.
And there was a blackout when he came in the lane.
At 6'9", 231, I guess. Birds bring it back down. Need a little run here. Barnes to Wimhater. Todd Cagle on the floor for Illinois State. Cagle and Wimhater, your backcourt combination now. From the side, long range push by Kern, no good. Chuck Barnes, nice board. Back to the hoop, up and in. Nice play. Chuck Barnes.
Chuck Barnes was outside the three-point line when that shot went up, and he reacted very well to the basketball. Got it, got under control, got the second shot basket.
Product of Whitney Young in Chicago. ISU with 2 players from Whitney Young. Of course, Richard Thomas the same.
Todd Cagle was in the right place at the right time, forced to travel just by being a heads-up basketball player.
Well, Lewis is going to take a timeout. Let's just think
Barnes from outside the three-point line goes in, reacts, pump fakes, gets the shot down.
First timeout that has not been an official timeout. Of course, as you know, it will not be home till January 6th. So you've got Butler and DePaul after this one tonight.
That is a tough non-conference schedule, isn't it?
It's a very tough card. Typical of Missouri Valley teams, and one reason the Valley hasn't had a great record against non-conference opposition. Although it looks like this year is going to be a little bit better. Wimhater on the point. A little surprised at this. Putting Cagle on that off-guard position. Normally he comes in and plays the point, but
they're trying to use Todd Wimhater as the person to swing the ball to get the ball to the shooters.
And of course they want Cagle shooting over there if the shot is available, right?
Exactly. That's why he's in the ball game.
Foul on John Adams of Lewis University. ISU has made 9 baskets. They had 3 in the first minute and 12 seconds of the game. 3 more. So anyway, they now made 6 of their last 22. At the free throw line is Scott Taylor. Thanks to Brian Bloodworth in the paragraph. Brian writes about like I do. Free throw was missed by Taylor. But we appreciate the help. Goodness knows we can use it. From the side, Cagle, three-pointer.
That score was all because of Todd Cagle. He saved the ball out of bounds, kicked it in, got it back, and scored. Just the kind of lift ISU needs coming off the bench.
And we're tied at 24. You said they had him in there to shoot. Good call,
He
Coach.
can do that.
Yeah. Maurice Kilo out front to Agner. Agner for Lewis. He drills a three-pointer.
So can Lewis. Huh?
Wow, Johnny Agner, Rich Agner, I should say. Kid from Notre Dame of Niles puts it down. 27-24 Lewis. They continue to shoot it extremely well. Chuck Barnes to Wimhaner. Wimhaner on the point. Kicks it off to Barnes. Barnes goes in one step. Back to Todd Wimhaner against his zone defense to Scotty Taylor for the hook.
Excellent feed by Todd Wimhaner into the post.
Well, now ISU looking for the better shot. Certainly running their offense.
Well, they're a lot more patient. They're a lot more confident in what they're doing. Maybe because you got a senior in Todd Cagle on the floor. He gives them a little bit of stability. And I'm sure that's what Coach Bender was thinking when he inserted Todd.
Kern is called for reaching over the shoulder him. Foul number 1 on Brian Kern. And this will be a 1-on-1 situation, a bonus situation as far as Lewis is concerned. Bob Bender sitting down next to Jay Lowenthal. You can get just a little bit of glimpse around Billy King there and Giacoletti's tie. There you see it. Turquoise colored tie.
Oh, to be young again, Art.
Free throw by Adams is up and in. What would happen if you wore that to work?
I'd have some people fainting on me.
Well, they just laugh at you.
Yeah.
Looks good on Ray, doesn't it?
Wearing a tie to work, I'd have people.
Second throw is up and off. Back support. Pulled down by Wimhaner. 3-pointers so far. ISU has 1. 4 for Lewis. Oh, man, oh, man. Chuck Barnes.
That's the way to finish off a fast break. He saw the advantage and he exploded to the hole.
28-28 right now with 4 minutes to go in the half as Chuck Barnes throws the exclamation point on the break. Damon Joshua from the side rolls
Good
off.
box out. Good job on the boards.
Wimhaner on the break. Todd roars it down to Cagle. Cagle drives the baseline. Back to Scotty Taylor for the pull-up. In and out. No good. Rebound deflected out of bounds by Chuck Barnes. Going to see Barnes heroics again.
Todd Wimhaner pushes the ball up the floor, kicks it ahead to Chuck Barnes, and he just explodes to the basket.
Barnes may be the most improved player on this ball club.
I think he might be too. I've really been impressed with how well he plays, and I never thought he'd be able to play a guard position like he does.
Well, he's tremendously quick. Pull-up jumper.
Nice shot. Good job defensively.
Kilo claims they caught him on the wrist as he fired up the jumper. The ball fell way, way short. The official doesn't see it that way, and ISU will inbound. Taylor leaves as Steve Fitch checks in for the Redbirds. So you got Wimhaner, Cagle, Kern, Barnes, and Fitch. And Scotty Taylor talking rather intently with Bob Bender. I shouldn't put it that way. Bob Bender talking rather intently with Scott Taylor.
Who's doing the talking?
Here's Chuck Barnes. Barnes right back out front to Wimhaner. Shot is up on the back iron. No good. Nice rebound. Great rebound pulled down by John Adams. Yeah, there's some talent on this Lewis team. Good individual players.
Yes, they are. And they're hanging tough right here.
I think depth probably is going to be a problem with them. Ball stolen away by Brian Kern, who just out-muscled John Adams for the basketball. Fitch cross-court, Wimhaner, low Kern, hook, no good. Ball knocked out of bounds and belonged to Illinois State.
It was there. He just rushed the shot a little bit. We're just trying to get the shot off a little too quickly.
First exhibition game, Kern hit the first shot of the ball game, a sweeping hook off the baseline right.
Bring back memories. Skip Thoreen, University of Illinois.
That's right.
I know you even remember.
I remember guys hooking a long time before he did. Now pass to Fitch. And Steve Fitch gets it. That's a lost art, the hook shot. You don't probably remember Bobby Hopebridge, do you?
No, I don't. Art. That must have been a way.
That was way before you. You're a young fella.
Yeah, right.
Lundquist at three-point range for Lewis. Dips in and out, no good. Chuck Barnes grabs the rebound. Barnes' season best last year was 11 points. His career high 14 during his freshman year. Wimhaner for three.
Good penetration by Fitch. Kick out for Wimhaner and three. ISU's starting to click a little bit offensively now. They're pushing the ball. They're getting easy opportunities shooting the ball by penetrating and making the right pass.
Leading now 33-28.
They've also picked it up defensively. A lot better defensive pressure.
ISU has gone a 14-4 run, which is very impressive. We have a foul against the Redbirds on the inside with 2:05 to go in the half.
You usually don't see that kind of foul called Division I basketball.
Here's a little shot by Wimhaner.
You'll usually find, whenever you've got a penetrator, you'll find someone spotting up at three-point range, which gives you your three-point shots. You know, usually three-point shooters aren't very good at getting their shot off the move or anything else. They have to be set up for the shot, and that's what penetration does.
That's a good point. There are very few on-the-move three-point shooters. There are a few.
You don't even have to shoot a jump shot from three-point range at any level right now.
John Adams spins out the free throw. Yep.
They'll find you.
33-28 Illinois State. Richard Thomas to Wimhaner. Wimhaner looks back to Thomas. Thomas on the wing. Now, they got 2 point guards out there, and Wimhaner, an off guard. Wimhaner's playing the point. Inside Taylor. Scotty's hook, no good. Heavy traffic underneath. Steve Fitch tried to follow, couldn't do so. So Bob Bender going definitely with the 3-guard offense at this, well, 3-guard lineup, not only offense. Got to play both ends in this game, don't you?
Yeah, it's that offensive and defensive teams that giving me so much trouble.
Have the wrong one in at the wrong time.
Right. I just can't run them in like they do in football.
Maurice Kilo up against Todd Cagle. To Agner. Rich Agner being covered by Wimhaner. They look low inside to Rick Capisha. Can't get the ball to him. Wimhaner, a little lob pass up here to Thomas. Ahead of the break. Late dunk by Steve Fitch. Steve Fitch.
Todd Wimhaner and Todd Cagle made that possible on that steal. He was really working hard defensively.
ISU has ballooned this to a 7-point lead at 35-28 with 1:12 to go in the half. Damon Joshua to the baseline. Joshua looks back out front. Gets the ball to Maurice Kilo. To Agner. Agner pulls up in long range. Outer iron, no good. Lewis has cooled off a little bit, too. Here's Wimhaner. Wimhaner down. Puts on the brakes. Down the lane to Thomas. Thomas is hammered as he goes to the glass.
Good job of giving the ball up, getting it back. It was Taylor that made a defensive play. Taylor and Wimhaner. I'm sorry.
Richard Thomas had the assist on the lob. The foul went to Rich Agner here at the other end. His first at the free throw line for the Redbirds. Will go Richard Thomas.
You could see Fitch's eyes light up when he saw Richard Thomas on the left-hand side. He knew what was coming, and he got so excited he almost didn't catch the ball.
Yeah,
he had enough control to get it down.
Strong fingers because he never had the grip on the ball. 36-28 Illinois State as Thomas nails the first free throw. Let's see what Richard's done at the line in preseason. Well, 7 out of 8. That's pretty fair.
This matchup in terms of quickness is much better for ISU. They're able to match up defensively much better.
ISU on a 20-6 run now, which has ballooned them out to a 9-point lead. Maurice Kilo with 44 seconds to go in the half for Jimmy Whitesell's ball club on the right side to Jamin Joshua. Joshua flashes into the paint. ISU wanted a traveling call, didn't get it. Kilo looking low to John Adams. He's battling with Fitch inside. Pisha battling with Taylor. 2 big guys for Lewis. Trying to run a little double low post, and ISU playing very good inside defense right now. Agner gets away from Wimhaner, goes in and scores. There's a situation where nobody picked up Agner once he swung to the lane. He got the, 4-footer maybe?
Well, the help didn't come till too late. If you don't help till inside, well, I want to say inside the dots, but there are no dots in college basketball. If you get that deep in the lane, they're going to score.
Yeah, you're in a lot of trouble. 5 seconds to go in the first half. Low to Taylor from Cagle, no good. Tipped by Fitch, in and out, no good. And that's it at halftime. We got a 7-point ball game at the halftime break as Illinois State's Redbirds with a late rush in the first half. On top, as we say, by 7 as we reach the break. 37-30. We'll be back with our halftime show for you in just a moment.
Back with the original starting lineup.
And John Adams goes
They
right.
score inside right away.
Adams with 7 points on the evening. 37-32.
Lewis had to come down and get a good possession, and they did. Got the ball inside and got a score. For their leading scorer touching the ball, which is set play, and that's what they wanted.
ISU has Thomas Hunter out there starting the second half. So we have Hunter and Kern, a double low post combination with Scott Taylor in one corner. Actually kind of a one-guard situation right now with Wimhaner on the point. Barnes is playing the other corner. Kind of the old 1-4 offense, isn't it? Don't know if that's what Bob Bender calls it, but that's what he's got.
They're also sticking with their zone.
Wimhaner had the shot deflected by Joshua. Ball came back to him, still got the shot up and off. And Rich Agner with the basketball now for Lewis off to Joshua. Swiped away by Barnes, and we're going to have a reach-in. And a foul has been called on Damon Joshua. Kind of a retaliation, I guess. Jimmy Whitesell not too happy, and I think
It was out of control. He was out of control and ran into Wimhaner.
Well, it was a pretty good call. So we see the replay.
The zone is going to force ISU to hit the outside shot, and Obviously, they had trouble doing it in the first half, and Lewis is going to stick with it. It's going to keep them close. It's going to also slow down the tempo of the game.
Or get that opportunistic break going like they did late in the first half and beat the zone back down the floor.
Exactly. But it does slow down the pace of the game.
Oh, yeah. Barnes from the side. The three.
But if you hit your shots, it does make it easier to attack the zone.
Well, your U High Ball Club last year did that to a lot of people.
Well, we couldn't get many to play a zone, but...
no, but you played a pretty good zone.
Well, we like to think we did.
Well, you must have. You're second best in the state.
Yeah, well...
I see the
Hey, if we'd played man-to-man, we'd have been state champ. That's the words.
There with the pull-up. I see the Smith kid from Findlay, who you opposed in the state title game, had 22 for Milliken the other night. So
he's a pretty good player.
He's for real. 40-34 ISU. Scott Taylor got to Todd Wimhainer. Back to Taylor. Taylor with the pull-up. Outer iron. No good. Rebound. Hauled down by John Adams. Adams to Damon Joshua. The Kilo down the floor. Tried to go back to Kalen Haynes and threw it away.
Against the zone, ISU's got to have more patience and better ball movement, and they got flash open areas. Right now, they're trying to make one or two passes and take the shot. It takes a little more patience to attack a zone than it does man.
And they're forcing things just a bit as they did early in the ball game.
Well, they want to blow Lewis out instead of just playing.
Chuck Barnes on the right wing. Back to Wimhainer. Here's Barnes. Barnes just inside the arc to Wimhainer outside the arc. In and out. Rebound. Scotty Taylor back to the hoop and in.
Good job attacking the boards by Scott Taylor.
Damon Joshua, product of Gary Andrian High School over in Indiana. Number 24. He hasn't got the ball right now, though. It's Agner with it, number 30. Now here's Joshua. Lewis University program trying to build their Division II club in a pretty good Division II league. Long jumper by Kilo. Karam's off. No good. Ball loose on the floor. 6'9" Brian Kern digs her out of there to Todd Wimhainer. Here's Todd on the fly. Off on the right wing as ISU sets it up again. They look inside to Kern. Kern has Adams playing behind him and Agner in front of him. Taylor tries to pass into Hunter. Nice defensive recovery on the part of Kalen Haynes.
No one was guarding Scott. He tried to throw the ball inside anyway.
Here's John Adams down low. Goes for the stuff and is hammered by Scott Taylor. Big John had the right idea here, Cal, but Taylor...
Well, he was going to the basket.
Yep.
We teach don't give up layups. Go for the ball, but don't give up layups. And especially not dunks.
Yeah, I think Bob Bender teaches the same thing.
Well, I think that most coaches do. If you can't protect your basket close in, you're going to have even more trouble from outside.
Adams is 1 for 3 at the line on the season thus far. See what he's done in the 3 games thus far. The free throw shooter, he's only 50%, 12 of 24. But he just improved on that. Although he's still a 50% shooter for the night, 2 out of 4. One more throw. John Adams, and we told you at the top of the broadcast, played for one of the state's fine coaches, Bob Bogle, down at Centralia. Second throw, Karam's off. Flat-footed rebound, Richard Thomas. Here's Rich on the move. Thomas last year did a very, very good job rebounding. For a point guard, he had 37 boards on the season. Long push, no good. Tip by Barnes, won't go. Rebound, Chuck up and in. More routinely, he gets home the follow-up effort. That means Chuck Barnes has just had his biggest night as a collegiate at ISU. 15 points for Barnes here tonight.
He is working so hard off the ball and on the boards. I'm really proud of the way he's playing tonight.
He has played a ton.
He's just so aggressive. Both ends of the floor.
Agner to Kilo to Adams, a holdout inside. I think it was Brian Kern. We're going to see that bucket by...
Hunter, was it?
Was it on Hunter? Maybe so.
It looked like Hunter pushed off, but I couldn't tell.
There you see it, the shot by Barnes, a follow-up after the miss.
That's just hard work. That's not necessarily talent. What it is hard work.
They didn't give the foul to Hunter. That's why I have you with me to pick up these officials' calls, because you're so adept at doing that during the coaching phase of your
Well, I haven't missed many calls, but I think a few have been missed.
Here's the play to Damon Joshua. Out front to Kilo. Kilo's three-point bomb doesn't go. Adams clears out pretty well, follows and scores. John Adams, pretty good basketball player, considering the kid wasn't expected to play with a bad ankle. He's really contributed.
He's strong. He's a strong, good, quick jumper.
10 points for Adams right now, 44-37. Illinois State by 7. Pull-up jumper, Barnes. Nothing but the bottom of that. It was inside the arc.
He's in his rhythm tonight.
Oh, indeed. 6'5", 195, a junior out of Whitney Young, averaged 2.3 points a game last year. He's got 17 here tonight. Agner to the hoop. Nobody cut him off. He got it easily.
But just got beat back door, so you can't just play one end of the floor, and that's what ISU has done tonight.
46-39. Barnes looks inside. Richard Thomas tries the three. On the way. Got it. State back to a 10-point lead at 49-39. Thomas Hunter's going to check back in just a moment. Lewis down on the attack. That was Adams, number 50. Here is Agner, number 30 to the baseline. Cut off over there, tough by Chuck Barnes.
Good help defense by Fitch inside that time. Forced him to kick the ball back outside.
Joshua moves on Wimhater all the way to the hoop. Off balance, can't get it in, but Adams does.
Somebody's got to get a body
on Mr.
Adams because he is going to the basket uncontested right now.
220-pounder, 49-41. Redbirds bring it back down. Todd Wimhater, junior from Quincy. Late for Jerry Leggett. The Blue Devils tries the three. Got the three. Well, the word following the European trip was the Tide had a pretty good trip shooting the three-pointer. Last year he struggled shooting, period, but certainly been impressive in that category tonight.
I saw him in high school, and he can light it up when he gets on. He just lost his confidence. He's getting it back. Slowly, it's coming back.
Richard Thomas is called for the reach in. We're going to see Big John Adams last bucket.
Watch when the shot goes up. You'll see Adams uncontested going to the basket and putting it in. No one checked out. Their best rebounder.
Timeout, official timeout at Redbird Arena. The Birds by 11, 52-41, and we'll be back in just a moment. Inbounds pass in the defensive zone, and it is not over the back. Damon Joshua came back and grabbed it. ISU is 6 of 12 in the second half, 21 of 52 for the game. Lewis is 17 of 29 for the game. Underneath, Adams was called for traveling. Interesting figure here. Illinois State on the ball game has taken 52 shots to only 29 for Lewis at this juncture.
Well, I think our board play is getting better too. That's why we're getting more better shots.
Our telecable stats have a rebounding edge of 28-26 to Lewis, but that's a lot of boards at this stage. Richard Thomas penetrates off the glass and in.
Richard's an excellent penetrator, and he does it under control. Takes a shot or dishes off. That time he was under control and got the basket.
And keep in mind, he's playing on something of a bum knee tonight as well.
He seems to be moving pretty well, though, so maybe it's loosening up as the game goes on.
Doesn't seem to be bothering him. Their next game is Butler, so they don't have to play again until Monday night. Boy, basketball, when the season gets going, though, the games come...
You don't have much time to heal, do you?
They really don't, or to even prepare. Down the lane, it's Maurice Kilo on the drive, and he drew the foul. See when they sort this out, who Ron Zester called the foul on.
Steve Fitch. He got Steve up in the air and got into his body.
There's a look at that's our knee pad shot for the night.
And that's a pad that will hold the heat in and keep it warm.
Now you see the rest of the body. You can see the knee pad is the one we're talking about. Richard Thomas.
Good looking knee pad.
At the line, Kilo. In and out. Like the night we did the Central Catholic Mendota football game over at Hancock Stadium. Mendota hadn't played on the turf, and they had a very interesting assortment of shoes. Had some great shoe shots that night.
Well, we need another sock shot on number 32, Maurice Kilo. They obviously don't have a very good sock budget at Lewis University, excuse me.
Number Lundquist is coming for Lewis. Also, number 10 is Tim Fedorsky for the first time. He also had a sock problem. Yes. Keep in mind, for you veteran viewers, Cal Hubbard will go into 5 or 6 tirades this year on the lack of socks. I'll warn you right now, socks and zone defense is his two primary topics. On the floor, on the drive to the hoop, up and in is Maurice Kilo.
Everybody's got to be good at something, Art.
Well, Lewis has picked up the enthusiasm out there. They're out of the zone now.
Well, they had to come out. They got shot out of their zone.
Out of that timeout, they come out now. They're pressuring for the ball a little bit. Chuck Barnes, Lundquist on him. Here's Richard Thomas around Fedorsky. He whirls into the paint. Richard straightens up, hangs in the air, rolls it up. No good. Rebound underneath. Flops on the baseline, goes out of bounds, and with a 10-point deficit, Lewis has the basketball with 12:47 to go.
Both Chuck Barnes and Richard Hunter Thomas Hunter, were fighting for the second shot rebound. So coach has obviously made that a point of emphasis at his halftime talk. Said we got to go to the boards.
A little pressure Fisher forced the turnover there as Tim Fedorsky from Riverside Brookfield brought the ball up the floor. And the basketball belongs to Illinois State. Todd Wimhaner will trigger in. 16th turnover of the game for Lewis. Last night in the women's game here, our statistician, Dean Tamley, was trying to use finger signals to tell us how many turnovers there were. And he's learned tonight that you can't do that. There are usually more than 10 in a basketball game, regardless of who's playing.
Those Pioneers only had 9 last night.
Is that right?
It's hard to believe, first game of the year.
Well, and John Adams is third. That's good coaching, Cal.
Yeah, right.
Into Fitch. Fitch can't get the shot home. Rebound pops out of there.
Good heads-up pass that time. Just didn't convert it.
Agner came off with a rebound. Fedorsky brings it up against Wimhaner. Right side to Rich Agner. Skip pass over the ISU defense to Kilo. Long push up, no good. Rebound pulled down by Lundquist. Pulls in against Fitch. In and out. Rebound Thomas Hunter. Hunter, the junior college transfer, yanks it off of there, and Rich Agner is called for the reach-in foul. Take a look at that flurry once again.
Good, powerful move. Could have been called a charge, but Fitch held his ground. Little contact, ball came out.
Good job by Hunter. Camped there and got position. Okay, the ball inbound. Richard Thomas brings it up. ISU back to a more basic lineup now. Remember, late in the half, they went with 3 guards for a period of time. Chuck Barnes on the pull-up on the baseline, dips in and out for Chuck. Rebound came off and caromed off of Agner.
Good quick move by Chuck Barnes going to the baseline. Just didn't quite have control of the ball and had to try to shoot it anyway.
Official timeout here at Redbird Arena. 11:54 to go. It's ISU still by 10. ISU. To the credit of Lewis University, the Flyers have come in here and certainly made an entertaining evening. They shot the ball pretty well. They're only down 10 right now. ISU is 22 of 56 now for the game. Lewis is 17 of 31 for the game. Rebounds 28 to 27. ISU with a 1 board edge right now. 54-44, 10-point lead, and the basketball belongs to Damon Joshua once again for Lewis. Richard Thomas on him out front. Left wing, if you will. Now Lundquist swings out to meet the pass. Kilo tries to hit John Adams. Joshua tried to retrieve. One of those bounce passes that coaches don't dream about.
Well, it was open. It just was the wrong pass at the wrong time. Adams was open, cutting down the lane.
In the ISU lineup now, Todd Cagle, senior from Normal Community, replacing Todd Wimhaner from Illinois State. Scott Taylor has come back in also, and Chuck Barnes leaves. Steve Fitch. Fitch looks cross court to Cagle. Looking down low. Fitch going to take the 3 on the perimeter. Outer iron does not go. Rebound, scramble for, and John Adams comes up with the basketball for Lewis.
Lewis went to zone that time and forced the outside shot.
Lundquist back to Adams. Adams at the free throw line for 2. Little turnaround by Adams rings the bell. Adams has had a 9-point second half, 14-point ball game.
I'd like to see him if he were healthy.
Yeah,
Pretty good player.
Playing on a bad ankle, supposedly. Well, that points out how important this game is to Lewis. He wanted to play. Cross-court pass, skip pass over that zone defense this trip. Cagle works to Hunter. Hunter back out to Richard Thomas. Thomas to Fitch in the corner. Tries the 3. Can't get it. Rebound. Scott Taylor back to the hoop. Blocked. Gets it back. Pokes it up and in.
First half, we had no one going to the boards. Now we have 2 and 3 people on the boards, and we are getting second shot opportunities. When you get a miss, you get it back in.
ISU hadn't scored since the 13:52 mark until that follow-up effort. 56-46. Birds by 10 once again. Backdoor John Adams reverses it. Won't go. Rebound Taylor. Taylor kicks it out to Richard Thomas. Thomas on the fly for the Birds. Trying to get back before the defense gets organized. Skip pass over the zone to Cagle. 3-point range. No good. Rebound Thomas. Hunter back to the glass. Misses it. Followed by Thomas. Back to the hoop. Won't go down. Ball back to Hunter once again. Battles again. Misses and finally drew the foul.
Hard work. Just real hard work on the boards.
Great flurry.
He got hit more than once, but he stayed with it. Skip pass over the top. Todd misses the layup. Hunter gets the ball, puts it up, gets it back, pump fakes, gets hit again. Still hasn't gotten the call. Does finally get the call in the third effort.
I'm going to say you can call it that time. I called it the first time. Hunter has 8 rebounds. He just got a bundle up right there.
That's right. Well, you know, got to get that rebound total up,
That's
Art.
right. Thomas Hunter shooting a pair has 6 points tonight. He's 2 out of 2 with the free throw line on the evening. Nice crowd at Redbird Arena. Wednesday night, free throw up and in. So it's 57-46, Illinois State by 11. 9:54 to go. One more throw to Thomas Hunter. 58-46, Illinois State by 12. Mike Vandegaard comes on, replacing Thomas Hunter. Illinois State's depth bound to be a factor in this one because they've substituted freely throughout. Collision. Pisha collides with Vandegaard. No whistle. Here is Agner. Agner right back in the middle to Kilo. Kilo whirls the hoop, doesn't get it. Mike Vandegaard kind of an off-balance rebound, but did the job.
Lewis is starting to take some real ill-advised shots.
Steve Fitch tempted to take one himself and passed it off. Here's Richard Thomas, the veteran guard to Cagle, low to Vandegaard. Vandegaard back to Cagle, back to Vandegaard. Mike powers in, and is going to be called for traveling. One little jab step too many underneath.
Well, he was shuffling his feet.
I like the way they attacked that, though, Gal. Went back.
Yeah, you know, one of the best ways to attack a defense, get the ball in the post, kick it back out, and get it back in. And they did a nice job of it.
And, of course, they have scored pretty successfully and tight all night long. Joshua to Kilo, around the ISU defense to Agner. Agner travels, right to pivot foot. Rich Agner, good ball player. Notre Dame of Nile, 6'6", 195-pound junior. Averaged 15.3 points a game for this club last year, averaging 16 points a game so far this season. 1 and 2 are the Flyers coming into this one. Here's Cagle, great pass to Vandegaard, pass off to Scotty Taylor, shoots it, misses it, and drew the foul. Little sleight of hand that time, Cal.
Well, Lewis was in a matchup zone that time, but they looked confused. ISU did a good job of just going right in and attacking it.
Rick Pisha picks up the foul. So at the free throw line will go Taylor. Pisha checks out, and John Adams comes back in. Rick Pisha, as we told you, is from LaSalle, Peru, played for Chips Giovanni up there at the free throw line.
He's still coaching.
He has now
He's been around longer than us.
Yes, he has. Well, no, not really. He won his 652nd game.
That is unbelievable.
Last weekend in the Streeter Thanksgiving tournament. Taylor nets the second throw, made 1 out of 2, so Scott Taylor tonight with 9 points. Got a pretty good ball club up there apparently this year, 59-46.
He's been pretty good the last couple of years.
He's had a couple of 3 good ball clubs in a row. Maurice Kilo, the Damon Joshua. Left side to Agner. Agner eyeballs the bucket, travel.
Can't move the pivot foot before you go to the hole. He's done it twice now.
Yeah, second walking violation in a row. On the sideline, Jimmy Weitzel has this senior's team commit its 19th turnover, and he is not a happy camper with that situation.
Fatigue does that, and that's what the depth of ISU is doing. It's wearing Lewis down. It's wearing him down slower than we thought, but it is wearing him down.
James Brooks has checked in for the Flyers, number 20, played for Gene Pinkator at Westchester St. Joe. Long bomb by Thomas, no good. Cagle grabs the rebound, deflected off to Scott Taylor. To Vandegaard for 2. On the slam. 61-46 Redbirds.
Again, Todd Cagle is the guy that got the loose ball off the boards, smallest guy on the floor, and it results in a basket.
Cagle to Taylor to Vandegaard. 61-46. Joshua. Right side to Brooks. Back out front to Maurice Kilo. Joshua from the baseline. Dips in and out. Nice rebound by Adams. Goes up strong. Tied up on the rebound effort. John Adams got high in the air and really muscled the ball down. Did he call for traveling when he came down with it?
It was a jump ball.
Oh, change of possession. Okay. Adams is one strong hombre on the inside, isn't he?
Yes, if he could have a 6'8" post player beside him, he could be awfully effective.
ISU with 5 3-pointers, Lewis with 3 in the ball game, and I think that's an earlier report. Adams now has 11 rebounds. Pull-up jumper by Cagle. 3-point range, no good. Rebound. Richard Thomas. Ball loose on the floor as Scotty Taylor went up and tried to get it out of there, and Lundqvist picks up the personal foul.
Again, second and third shots. Every possession, ISU is getting more than one shot, which in the first half ISU was not getting.
Yep. Third foul on Dan Lundqvist. Official timeout at Redbird Arena. 7:41 to go. Illinois State now leads it by 15 at 61-46. We'll be back in just a moment. Redbirds with the basketball. Richard Thomas. Vandegaard called for illegal screen, apparently. That's what you were talking about, Cal.
It's a point of emphasis off the ball. They're trying to clean up the game, and it's probably a good move. It just seems like it's called at inopportune times.
I would think that would hurt some teams that really run that heavily screening offense. Indiana comes to mind immediately.
They're probably the way they play basketball is probably one of the biggest reasons for
the rule.
The rule.
They jolt you with their screens.
But Duke and ISU do the same type.
Yep.
They play the same type of ball.
On the drive to the hoop, Joshua called for the charge. So take away the bucket. Foul number 4 on Damon Joshua.
Good job by Richard Thomas in getting position.
There's a good look at Damon Joshua coming back up the floor. ISU with a run of 7 unanswered points at this juncture.
Need to extend this lead so ISU can clear the bench and get a lot of people in the first game. Keep the spirits up.
Richard Thomas on the left wing. Todd Cagle back to Thomas. Lewis has done a pretty good job of keeping ISU from really reckless running in this ball game, making it totally a slam dunk circus. They had a lot of them tonight, but that, of course, is every bit as good. Thomas with a long-range three-pointer.
Richard Thomas has really improved his outside shooting. His stroke is so much better from three-point range.
64-46. Kilo, half bucket. And it comes up short. The ball goes out of bounds. Belong to the Redbirds.
Somebody finally got a body.
Yeah, John Adams. Yeah, he caught an elbow in the face, according to our observers in the truck. We have a bigger screen than we do, but also we're about 2,000 yards away from the playing area. But John Colson's an eagle eye out there.
Well, I think there was a point of emphasis by the coach to say, you will block him out.
Yeah. Guys in the truck can help you, though, many times. They do get a good look on the multi-screens they have in there. Here's Vandegaard. Vandegaard follows and got it. Mike Vandegaard.
Second and third shots. Good effort on the boards.
And Mike will go to the line. Lundqvist now riding with 4 personal fouls. The kid from Rochelle and Kishwaukee Community College in pretty deep foul trouble. With 6:05 to go, and another kid from the North Central Conference, Rick Pisha, out of LaSalle, Peru, is going to check in, I would assume, for Lundqvist in just a moment. Can't come in yet. Vandegaard's free throw is there.
4 fouls, down 20 with 6:05. You really don't worry about the fouls.
No, not too much. Now down.
But he is coming out.
Redbird combination now. Chuck Barnes has come back in. Thomas Hunter has come back in.
I think Coach Bender does an excellent job, as good as anyone I've seen, of keeping fresh legs on the floor. And he's got so many combinations out there. Obviously, he knows exactly who can play with who.
Yeah, he was explaining his combination to me the other day. And,
did you get it down?
Well, I was going to write it down. I thought, no, I won't.
You'll let Cal figure it out, right?
Yeah. Well, suffice it, I never questioned this, but he does have a reason for all those combinations.
Oh, I'm sure he does.
There's certain chemistry he wants out there at certain times, and the flurry goes on. Damon Joshua got a couple of shots up. Finally, Thomas Hunter comes out with the basketball. Here's the lob to Vandegaard for 2. Vandegaard now with 8 points, 69-46. The Birds pulling steadily away. Down the home stretch in this one. Rich Agner to John Adams. Back to Agner for the Flyers. Looks for Maurice Kilo. ISU has scored 15 straight points. A long bomb is up and in. That was Kilo. Maurice Kilo with his second three-pointer of the evening. 69-49, 20-point lead, and Chad Altadonna is going to come back in for Illinois State. And checking back in for Lewis University. Then a moment ago is James Brook, the kid from Westchester St. Joe, just a freshman, number 20. Altadonna from Centralia. Now let's see, Chad's a sophomore here. He probably played with John Adams a little bit since Trinity High School. There's Vandegaard scoring in the out-of-bounds play.
Todd Cagle's got the toughest job on the team. Being a senior, not getting a lot of playing time, but when he comes in, he gives quality minutes. I'm really impressed with the job he's doing tonight.
Played very well tonight. Maurice Kilo, of course, he played well. Had a great year last year. Damon Joshua. Joshua down the lane, doesn't penetrate to Kilo. Kilo pulls it up at the line. Shot misses rather badly. Cagle wraps up the board. Here are the Birds on the move. Cagle dribbles behind his back out of traffic to Vandegaard. Vandegaard to Altadonna. Pull up by Chad is good. Altadonna with a short little poke on about 4 feet baseline left. And Lewis is going to take a timeout with 4:21 to go. Timeout for the Flyers. They trail 73-40.
Get it far enough ahead, a lot of people can play, and I think that's what you want in an opener.
John Litweiler is checked in for Illinois State, the freshman from Morton. You see him out there defensively now on Kalen Haynes. Damon Joshua being covered by Cagle. Joshua pulls it up. He's got to be tired. He's not shooting like he was earlier. Haynes underneath, back to Joshua. Out front to Agner. Agner drills top of the circle, three-pointer. Agner with a total of 14 points. ISU 29 for 74 on the ball game. Here's Altadonna, rolls it up and in. Chad Altadonna. 20 of 40 the shooting effort for Lewis, but Lewis has taken 34 less shots in the ball game. Agner to John Adams. Adams being covered by Thomas Hunter. A couple of bodies out there, aren't they? Hunter and Adams.
Sure.
There's
some banging going on.
There's a long three-pointer by Damon Joshua, who may be tired, but still likes it up for his third three-pointer. 75-55. Birds by 20. 3:14 to go. Altadonna against Brooks and Lewis. Here's Chad looking for some help. Gets the ball off to Todd Cagle. Cagle being hounded by Joshua. Altadonna tries the three-pointer, hangs on the outer iron, no good. Another rebound to John Adams of the Lewis College Flyers, or Lewis University Flyers, we should say. To Damon Joshua. Joshua for Jim Weitzel's ball club, down to Adams. Adams in the left corner of the floor to Brooks. Kalen Haynes. Joshua for the three-pointer, got it. A three-point clinic tonight, isn't it? 4 threes in the second half for Lewis, plus 4 in the first half. They've had 8 three-pointers. Here's a little run now going on by Lewis, a 9-2 run, 75-58 Illinois State. Litweiler. Now they go around the defense. Left corner of the floor to Litweiler. Litweiler to Altadonna. Chad sails in off the glass and in.
Chad Altadonna does such a good job of playing under control, going straight up with his shot. He is really smooth. Just needs some playing time.
Absolutely. He'd be a very prolific scorer, I think, at ISU before he's out of here. He's certainly among the best pure shooters in the ball club. And give the basket to John Adams. Well, foul. NBA, that'd be a continuation play.
Now the foul was made on the floor before the shot, and he gave him the basket.
They're going to get Big John the basket on the inside.
There you see. Foul's committed right there. Gives it up.
Foul's on Barnes. That's his second. Joshua leaves, and Barnes, not Barnes, I should say, Adams goes to the line, trying to complete a three-point play. 16 points for John Adams. Good look at John Litweiler, freshman from Morton.
I was at ISU when his dad was playing.
Myron.
His dad played for my father-in-law, Jim Collins.
Good ball player.
Yes, he was.
Free throw by Adams doesn't go. Redbirds have it. Here's Altadonna with the basketball. 1:50 left, and a reach-in foul called out front against James Brooks. Antonio Cooper checks in for Illinois State, number 25, 5'9", 160, an exciting freshman from Dalton Thorn Ridge. Not only a good basketball player, he was the third-place finisher in the AA triple jump at the state track meet last spring. Cooper went 49 feet, 3 1/4 inches. Kid's a good athlete. Checking in is Andy Porter, a walk-on, 6'7", 235, a freshman out of Geneseo.
He's 6'7", but he was 6'9" in high school. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, free throw is up and in by Aldonado.
You know those high school coaches, they don't know how to measure.
On rare occasion, they've been known to exaggerate.
I just say, what do you want to be listed at? So it doesn't matter.
Aldonado's had about the quickest 7 points.
He really does. He's smooth and he's a good offensive player.
Preseason statistics. Is that right? 167 field goal percentage in the 2 exhibition games? Well, he's better than that considerably. 79-60, Illinois State by 19 with 1:46 left. On the attack is number 10, Jim Fedorsky for Lewis. He gets off the right side of the floor to Willie Woodward from Jackson, Ohio. Woodward with a hook up and in. Woodward is 6'6", 180, freshman. 79-62, and Brooks call for the reach in out front against Antonio Cooper. Cooper's going to be an exciting ball player here throughout his career, I think, Cal. He's got a lot of athletic ability, came out of a fine program at Thornridge.
One of the problems, though, is it's going to be awful hard for a freshman to work into the lineup.
Well, I don't mean
because
this.
of the
I don't
depth,
mean,
but
I don't
I do
mean this
think
year.
that right. I do think that he's an awfully good recruit, and he's got time to learn.
Yeah.
That's what Coach Bender wants: is not having to throw freshmen in right away, but giving them time to learn the system and to grow up in the system.
One more throw for Antonio. There's a good look at him. Well, look from behind. Except we don't have a camera at that end of the floor. Now, at the other end, we have a good facial shot of Antonio. Second throw is up and in. 80-62. Lewis brings it down. Fedorsky looks right side, gets the pass over to Woodward, knocked out of bounds. Also on the floor is Tim Hansen, 6'6", 205, number 40 from Deerfield, South Dakota for Lewis. He's a senior. Brooks to make the play in. He does so. Woodward out front. Pisha's on the high post. He gets the ball to Hansen. Hansen, the senior veteran, back to Brooks. Brooks, the freshman, down the left side of the lane, cut off tough by Aldonado. Lob pass out front to Hansen once again. Tim Hansen crowded by Litweiler, and John picks up the personal foul. Litweiler, 6'6", 210. Another good look at John Litweiler. Great player in Morton. For Norm Reiser over there. They're pretty good again. Of course, have Derek Grimm at 6'9", starring for them this year. Grimm is already announced for Missouri, which I think took a couple of people by surprise.
Morton has a really good basketball tradition. They've had good teams many times in the past, and you like to see a good veteran like Norm have a good basketball team.
Yeah, he's got another
the old guys deserve it too, right?
I'll go along with that, absolutely. No question about that. Hansen made his first one, made his second one. Kid from Deerfield, South Dakota, off the bench, makes it 80-64. Aldonado against the double team, and they're going to say that he turned it over. ISU's 9th turnover of the ball game. Last count, we had 19 for Lewis. So it's been a big differential in the turnovers. Fedorsky, Hansen, three-pointer, got it. Where's he been all night, huh? Tim Hansen drains the three, 80-67, under a minute, 53 seconds. And counting here at Redbird Arena, Chuck Barnes fouled by Tim Fedorsky. Barnes has already had his biggest night as an ISU basketball player offensively with a 17-point effort. He had 10 in the first half. And Chuck has an opportunity to add 2 more points here. Has not been to the free throw line as yet this evening. Now this one is in the books, and the next one will be considerably different tempo and intensity and everything else, I would think, when the Butler Bulldogs come to town. Free throw by Barnes, nothing but net.
I'm sure Barnes was inserted into the lineup. It's a good chance to have a 20-point night. That would be an awful good start for him.
One more throw coming to Chuck Barnes. Second throw, hangs on the iron, rolls off of there. Rebound scramble for it. Digging it out finally is Pisha. Rick Pisha clears the ball for Lewis to Fedorsky. Hansen. Hansen eyes at a three-point range. He's out about 40 feet. Wouldn't take it from there, would he? Woodward lost the ball, picked up by Brooks. Brooks eyes at a three-point range. He gets Aldonado, penetrates inside the arc. Now left side to Woodward. Woodward goes up with a jumper. Antonio Cooper knocks it out of bounds and deflects it off Woodward. And the Redbirds will have it with 29 seconds left.
Very quick hands by Antonio.
Antonio is this very quick period. Here's Barnes. Barnes to Cooper. Antonio drives to the timeline. Puts on the brakes. Stepped out of bounds, but he was forced out. A foul is going to be called on Woodward. Willie Woodward, or Woodard, I guess. W-O-D-A-R-D. Antonio Cooper goes to the line. Lewis, one of those clubs that gives you a 17-man roster, and you got 15 spots in your scorebook. Free throw is up.
I hate those guys.
That's a pet peeve of broadcasters, writers, official scores, and nationwide. One more throw to Antonio Cooper.
We can find things to complain about, can't we?
Those are my socks right there that I'm talking about. My peeve. Down the floor is Brooks. Brooks pulls it up at 14 feet. Got it. James Brooks pulls her up at 14. 15 seconds left. They just took a timeout for a little conference. That's all.
I think they were just trying to stop the clock so they can get matchups. He didn't want to take the timeout.
Jim Weitzel will do a good job at Lewis. He was certainly successful in building that Elmhurst program very, very quickly. His first year. Here's Barnes. Gets the ball to Altadonna with 10 seconds left. Chad lobs to Litweiler, deflected out of bounds. Going to go back to Lewis. John Litweiler couldn't quite find the handle on that lob lead pass. 7 seconds left. Redbirds with the lead at 82-69. Woodard against Barnes with 4 seconds. Fires it over to Hansen. Hansen tries the three. In and out, no good, and that's it.